Timo Reitnauer has run businesses at two extremes. His first, domain registry I Want My Name, was global from day one. His second business, We Live Local, started by his wife Valerie, was hyperlocal and is now expanding to other regions. Timo joins me now. In a nutshell, what does each of these businesses do?
Thank you so much for inviting me today. So the first business I started, I Want My Name, was a domain name registrar. So you can buy a web address and then connect it to a website. And the second business, Valerie started 2.5 years ago now. We Live Local. It helps. It makes it easy for anyone to share a gift in a sustainable way.
So I Want My Name was bought by Central Nick Group in 2019 from you and the other two co-founders, but you stayed with them in a team within Central Nick Group.
Yes.
Until was it late 2020 or
late 2020?
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
So why did you choose to leave at that point and join your wife's business?
Last year, we realized that there's something in We Live Local after COVID. The business really took off, and it was the right time for me to make that jump from the corporate world back into a small business.
And how have you found that? What have been the surprisingly enjoyable parts, the surprisingly challenging parts?
It's certainly enjoyable to do something local and without the time zones involved, for example. So normal evening or early morning calls. We're on the ground here in New Zealand. We can meet suppliers, we can talk to them. Whereas before it was all remote setting, big international companies. So very, very different levels.
What do you prefer now that you've had a taste of working in both kind of models?
I certainly prefer the current environment after working for so long in a remote work environment since 2012. It's nice to have that personal connection again to people, and instead of talking over the phone or Zoom meetings, and it's nice to go back to, I guess, almost an old way of doing business.
It seems like, you were about 10 years ahead of the rest of the world. You went remote back in 2012, was it?
Yes.
Working in different time zones, and now you're coming back to embracing this kind of very real-time, in-person way of working. So
Exactly.
COVID last year provided a massive boost for your business. Tell me a little bit about how that played out.
Yes, so there was certainly demand pre-COVID already. We started in 2018, but then we had to close down the website, couldn't send anything during lockdown. And as soon as we opened after level 4, it took off. We ran the business out of our garage at the time, a 20 square meter garage, and it was quite challenging to ramp up production quickly because there was such a big demand after lockdown.
And of course, all the local councils were promoting, local businesses, and
Yes.
You were called We Live Local, so it was
Exactly.
a natural fit. And just to be clear, you gather, when we say local, we don't just mean New Zealand, do we?
No, so I think that the difference here is where we're not just getting products from New Zealand, but really from local communities. We started here in Kapiti, where we're based, had an offering here, then expanded into Wellington with Wellington suppliers and producers, and recently we moved into the Auckland market as well. People can be sure that when they buy a gift, it's not just made in New Zealand, but in their local communities.
We've talked about how running your own business is a roller coaster, whether it's a tech business or something like We Live Local. What have you had to draw on and develop in yourself to get through the low points over the years?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I think it's very much a mental game. You you have to you have to learn to live with that roller coaster ride. That one day you've got a bad day, and the next you're on top of the world. And I think what really helped me, my long time ago, I was an amateur cyclist, road cycling, and just pushing through that pain when it gets hard, and because it's only then you can make it to the finish line. But also recognizing when you push maybe too hard, and then taking a break and taking a step back. So that's really something I've learned, and just the persistence that I've learned through that as well. And another thing I realized over the last 10 years or so, that I'm a generalist, and it took me a while to understand what that means. So I'm not particularly good at one thing, but lots of things, and that took a while. But I think that's why a founder role suits me particularly well. So you have to wear so many different hats.
What's it like being a founder, an entrepreneur like that in New Zealand?
What I like about doing business in New Zealand is just that everyone's so approachable. You can go to overseas. Maybe you think, oh, it's like this famous or really business person, and here you just you give them a call, or someone in your network, and and everyone's just really willing to help. People are genuinely interested to help you to succeed.
You've also talked about the kind of ethical element, I guess, and giving back element to your businesses. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about that.
It's one of the reasons why we started it, and why I'm in this business now as well. For me, it's an opportunity to give back to New Zealand. I came here, moved here from Germany in 2008. And I'm just thankful to be here and call New Zealand home now. There was always a bit of a social mission with I Want My Name as well, where we set a percent of our sales aside for charities, and we're doing the same again now. We set 1% aside for 1% Collective. They donate to New Zealand charities. We work with a local community organization called the Shed Project. They work with people with disabilities. They do our wooden boxes for us. So the giving back part is really part of it, and that's what keeps me going as well.
Absolutely, and of course supporting those small food producers who really took a blow during lockdowns when the markets were closed for weeks on end.
Exactly, and we had really great feedback after lockdown last year. They couldn't attend markets, and all of a sudden we came along and ordered hundreds of products from them. So we heard the phrase, you kept the lights on for us from a few companies, which was a great feeling.
Thank you very much for your time. That's Timo.